Hey entrepreneurs, it's AJ and welcome back to Business as Unusual, practical motivation during uncertain times. Today I got a couple of case studies for you about certain businesses out there that I've been noticing that are doing interesting things. They're two case studies. One of them's doing something really amazing and I can't wait to share that story with you. And the other one is just, it's causing severe moral conflict in me, because I just want to go and rip them a new one, But look, I'll get into that in a second and you'll hopefully understand why. So before I get into these stories, I want to share with you what I'm seeing in the general business landscape out there. And I'll share this with my interview with Andy Tran the other day. And if you haven't seen that, I'll leave the link below and go check out the interview. It was a great interview between Andy and myself, because Andy is just, he's a genius in what he does, and just go follow him. He's fantastic. All right, so what I've seen in the landscape for businesses is that there's three types of businesses. You have the drifters, the shifters, and the innovators. Okay, so first the drifters. The drifters are those businesses that are paralyzed by fear. They're not really doing anything, and they just shut down mentally, and sometimes their business has actually shut down physically, So those businesses, they're just drifting along, and all of a sudden there's been announcements here in Australia about government subsidies. So they're like, oh, let's grab all that money, let's grab it, and drift along together. But they're not doing anything to advance themselves or taking advantage of this incredible opportunity. They are paralyzed by fear, okay? Those are the drifters. The next ones are the shifters. They're the ones who have business models that they're either shifting them online or shifting the way they think about how they do their business. So a combination of online, maybe even producing different products and services. So one of the examples was my friend's cafe before they were forced to shut down. They quickly realized that this was coming, that they might be reduced trading hours or reduced trading ability. And they quickly mobilized an online store. Another example is a restaurant up in Darwin, where I'm from. And the restaurant realized that this is coming. And again, they invested in a pasta maker, and they're selling pasta, right? So all of NT is fine with pasta. So things like that, they shift the way they think about how they do business. And in times of crisis, in times of disruption, that's the best way to move forward. Shift the way you think about doing business. And I'll come back to that with a great story as well. And the last one is the innovators. They're using this crisis to mobilize exactly what they've got and really think about, well, what else could we do? And so an example of that is GM, who are producing ventilators, and also Dyson have come up with a way to produce a new type of ventilator. And it's really exciting to see those sorts of innovation. So those are the three types, the drifters, the shifters, and the innovators, okay? So back to the case study. I saw this post on LinkedIn, and it just screams drifter, okay? It screams drifter, and it made me quite upset and morally conflicted, because it's a car yard, okay? They're a very successful car dealership. They've been around for a very long time. And they've always had the same business model. There's no real, as far as I can tell, there's no real innovation there, apart from, upgrading the technologies to continue to service the cars. So the CEO or the owner of this dealership gets online and he says, listen, it's up to you, talking to a city, it's up to you if we stay in business, and what he was saying was that he was putting the burden on his customers, saying that if they don't support him, he's going to have to fire staff. And look, I know that's a reality for many businesses, but just the way he's articulating that, like, if you don't come to my business, I'm going to have to fire people, it just annoyed me, And at the end of this post, he says, look, we've been around for a long time and we'll continue to be around for a long time too. And so, obviously, they've got some sort of resources, but I saw no evidence of new ways of thinking, new ways of contacting customers, new offerings, no real innovation or shifting any form of thinking, just begging for support when they've obviously got several resources behind them. This is a large dealership we're talking about here. So that made me just annoyed. Right, now contrast that, and hopefully you can see where I'm coming from, but contrast that with the second case study. And this is a case study that I saw on Twitter. And it should be on your screen now, but basically there's this person in Sydney, a business owner in Sydney who ran a juice bar, and they were forced to close the juice bar down. But instead of being a drifter, they shifted their thinking, they developed their entrepreneurial mind and pivoted. So the owner is now offering fruit boxes, veg boxes for sale, and he's delivering all around Sydney, or not all around Sydney, or maybe he is, I don't know, but basically it's that. Now, what really, just the contrast between the two, you know, this person, this business owner, sold their car to buy a van to continue to stay in business. Now, I don't know the state of the car. Maybe it was going to be falling off a cliff. Like, you know, I don't know, right? But they made the decision to change the way they did business. And that is incredibly courageous, you know, and it's just so important. It's that entrepreneurial mind, perspective, actions, and behavior. And they did that, and to continue to survive and thrive. And yeah, of course they're going to apply for government subsidies and assistance, of course, but they're doing things themselves versus this other larger business that's just going, well, if we fail, it's all on you. You know, just, it's annoying, you know. And the level of resources, you know, it's not about the level of resources per se, but it's how resourceful you be. And it's so important to be resourceful. Think differently. Think outside the box. You know, all these cliches, whatever, they're apparent today. And look, you know, if you're struggling, if you're one of those drifters and you want to be a shifter or an innovator, please get in touch. Please get in touch and reach out. You know, all my circles are willing to offer their advice and perspective to give you new ways and ideas of doing business to keep you engaged. And we're all in this together. And so please reach out. My circles are quite tight, so if I can't help you myself, I know someone in my circles that are willing to, you know, invest their time and energy to help you out. And just get in touch, you know, and also if you can support this business that's pivoted, if they're in Sydney, Australia, and if you can support them, that'd be great. And let's together get through this craziness. So there you go, entrepreneurs. That's my bit for today done. Drifters, shifters, and innovators, and I hope this serves you well and gives you new ways to think about your business. Remember, this is a temporary situation. Your current circumstances today do not dictate your future tomorrow. That's metaphorical, not tomorrow as in day after today, right? But this is all temporary and it'll all blow over eventually, and we just need to swap our fear for focus. Again, one of the lines I came up with talking to Andy Tran, so check out that interview below. All right, entrepreneurs, that's me done. Whatever happens in business and in life, I wish you nothing but success. My name's AJ Kulatunga. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you for the next episode of Business as Unusual. Peace.